Y'all almost ain't even get this video. What's good? If you've been here before, then you already know.
I'm so St. Louis.
And if not, welcome to my channel and thanks for watching. Let's get into this video. Do you get tired of feeling like your mixes might be taking too long, or you're falling behind when it comes to just keeping up with what's going on in the mixing world? Well, look, in this video, I got you. I'm gonna show you exactly how you can use the PreSonus FaderPort 16 to transform any studio environment into a professional mixing environment without you having to spend a whole lot of money or having one of those huge mixing consoles in your studio. Now, I know you probably already invested some time and money into your studio setup, so you can try to at least get some professional quality mixes out of it, right? But imagine spending hours, which I don't know if you have or not, but I've been in a situation where you spend all of that time tweaking your tracks only for them to still not sound professional. That's super frustrating, and it can be overwhelming. It can actually make you not want to finish the mix while you got your hands on it. Which sometimes it's cool to come back to it, but the good news is that with the FaderPort 16, you can actually achieve the control you need over your mixes and pretty much do some effortless mixing, which can free up your mind while you mix and help you to make more creative decisions while you mix and get to the finish line faster. All right, so as you use the FaderPort 16, you can pretty much streamline your workflow as you work inside of your sessions, because the 16 motorized faders move automatically as you switch from track to track, or even as you move throughout groups in a session, which makes it super easy to control your tracks. And it features the transport controls for playing your music, stopping it, recording functionalities right on the FaderPort 16 to help you work faster and more efficiently in your sessions and not always have to reach for a mouse. I would say it's a pretty good companion to the mouse, so I don't think you have to completely eliminate using the mouse in your workflow, but being able to just listen and slide the faders while you move throughout the session, like I said earlier, can help you with making more creative decisions and making decisions faster as you move throughout your mixes. Another one of my personally favorite features with the FaderPort 16 is the LED screens that displays the name and parameters of every track that you can see above each fader. As long as you label your tracks, which this can actually help you maybe become more organized while you work in your sessions. As long as you label your tracks, it's easy to look at the LED screens that's on the FaderPort to see where you are in the session, or to see what track you're working on or what track you're controlling. And it just makes it easy to know what you're modifying along the way. Now, y'all know I gotta be honest too though, right? All right, here we go. So this is why I said y'all almost didn't get this video, because it's a couple of cons to the FaderPort I gotta tell you about that had me ready to pull out my hair. Well, I mean, not really, because I never do that, but it was definitely frustrating trying to get this mug to work. What you have to know is that before you do anything with especially Pro Tools, you need to make sure you download the universal control software from the PreSonus website. Make sure that the version you download is up to date and compatible with your computer, whether you're on Mac or Windows. Now, all of that sounds normal, right? You want to make sure things are up to date, right? That's cool and all, but the problem that I ran into with that is this. The software basically kept trying to force me to update the firmware of the FaderPort 16, and it literally never updated after all of the troubleshooting methods that I tried, from Google to Reddit to the PreSonus website. Now, obviously, I went to PreSonus first because it's their product, right? But literally none of the troubleshooting methods work. So after I got tired of fighting with it, I just loaded Pro Tools to see if it'll work without the firmware update. But I shouldn't have really had to go through all of that. And although it did, I'm pretty sure the console could be missing some newer functionality or something that's a part of the latest firmware, because it's literally like at least 3 or 4 versions behind out of the box. But I got to go without it because no matter what I did, the update kept failing no matter what I tried. Also, another side note, and I guess I could say it's kind of a bonus tip. If you decide to use it with Pro Tools, you want to make sure you go to the setup menu once you get it all set up and plugged in, and go to peripherals in Pro Tools, and make sure for slot number 1 you choose HUI. Under receive from, you go to predefined, because Pro Tools is detecting the fader port. Choose PreSonus FP16 port 1. Make sure it's controlling 8 channels. And then for slot 2, you want to pretty much do the same thing, but under receive from, go to FP16 port 2, send to, go down to predefined, and make sure this also says port 2. So make sure receive from and send to match up, and that the channel numbers being controlled is 8. Okay, so that's just a side note for Pro Tools users. I would hope that out of the box it works with Studio One, but I'm not sure if you'll run into those firmware update issues. Alright, so with all of that being said, I still do believe that the FaderPort 16 is a great option as opposed to one of the large, expensive mixing consoles, because it works digitally with any DAW as far as I know. Now, I guess specifically, I would say Pro Tools, Studio One, Logic, and Ableton for sure. I'm not sure about other DAWs. I believe it works with Cubase as well. I know that with the FaderPort 16, you can still get to the finish line a lot faster, and it'll save you some hours when it comes to having control over your mixes, as well as being able to recall the settings and the fader positions when you open up new sessions. So that's super helpful as well, because the faders are motorized. It'll recall the position of the fader, so you won't have to try to gauge where you may have had the fader turned up or brought down inside of your DAW. It'll load it up exactly how it is as you move from track to track throughout your sessions. Alright, so now that you've seen how the FaderPort 16 can help improve your mixing process and help you to have something besides the mouse to touch while you're mixing so you can make faster, better creative decisions, I would highly recommend you hit the link in the description if you want to go ahead and head over to the Sweetwater website and grab you a FaderPort 16. It's still not a super expensive piece of gear, and it can help you so much with your studio workflow. Alright, so hit the link in the description to purchase yours from Sweetwater, and don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos coming up. Alright, oh yeah, if you got any specific questions about the FaderPort, go ahead and drop them in the comments, and if I don't got the answer right now, I'll make sure I find the answer to answer your questions.